The suspect appeared for the first time in court today. That you saw the prosecutor standing in front of the Lake County courthouse and telling us that, and this coming from the prosecutor, that the suspect, the 21-year-old who was accused in this case, confessed to the shooting in an interview with police. Right now, as it stands, the suspect is charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. There will be more counts coming. Let's go through some of that information we just learned. CBC's Magda Gabriselassie has been listening in. She joins me live from the U.S. Capitol. Magda, all eyes trained on this as people digest the information, the emotion of this story on Independence Day there in the United States. What really were the key points and the points made not only by police but from the prosecutor's office?
Well, that big one was that prosecutors said that Robert Crimo essentially admitted to committing this shooting. They said that also in the hearing this morning. They also said that they had evidence that Crimo contemplated carrying out another shooting in Madison, Wisconsin, after he left the area of Highland Park after the shooting, and he got away in a vehicle. He drove to Madison, Wisconsin, and they say that he contemplated carrying out another shooting there when he saw a celebration. But the reason why that he didn't do that, he didn't have enough research, didn't look into this enough to be able to carry out the crime, is what they said. Because as we've heard up until now, they say Crimo really planned the shooting in Highland Park, carried it out, and that he even took steps to conceal his identity, dressing as a woman too, to get away from the initial scene. Now, in this hearing, and this was a bail hearing essentially, the judge denying him bond at this hearing, so Crimo will remain behind bars. Another hearing is scheduled for July 28th. Now, a lot of the details have been coming out since the shooting. We heard from officials that, in fact, Crimo was known to police, that there had been 2 incidents. In April of 2019, they were called because it said that he had attempted to try to take his own life. And then months later, they were called back to the house. Apparently, family members saying that he had threatened them. At that time, officials say there were more than a dozen knives that were found that were taken away. But in the end, Crimo wasn't arrested in that situation. There was no formal complaint, and those knives were essentially returned because his father said they were his knives. Another thing that prosecutors were asked about is that his father sponsored him to essentially be allowed to get weapons, to get the ID that would be required to be able to purchase weapons later on in 2019 and in 2020. And that's something that prosecutors were asked about, whether they were looking into that, whether there could be charges laid against his father in that situation as well. So another point that prosecutors were asked about was an 8th victim. Apparently, an 8th person has succumbed to their injuries, dying in hospital this morning, according to several media reports, a 69-year-old man. But at this point, officials didn't seem to be clear on that. So we do know more charges are coming, though, in this case.
All right, Magda, we'll stay on this story and we will talk again. That's CBC's Magda Gabriselassie. She is in Washington.